Alright, YotV, we are here. It's hot, and we got some good stuff coming up next for you. We got some chronic narcosis, heavy metal rocker stuff. You like it?
Shredding, they shred. Love that.
Shredding. We got I can't say it.
Municipal ID. It's ID for everyone. Immigrants, people of many different lifestyles. Anyone can have it. It's free ID for everyone.
And we also got some Yoke Thoughts with the Genetics. Check it out up next for you on YotV.
Oh boy, yeah, we YotV, we back here.
Youth culture, youth voices, youth power, coming at you.
What's happening? We YotV out here.
Before we go any further, I have to dig up the magazine. Youth Outlook.
Oh boy, tell us if you come.
Youth Outlook, chronicle of young people's lives in the Bay Area.
Known all over the Bay and beyond.
Got a lot of good stuff for you this time. Yo!
What's going on, people? How are you doing? Of course, I am Donnie.
And I'm Ann. We are here, part of YotV, trying to bring you current events that's going on in the Bay Area.
Yes.
We are right now hanging out in San Mateo, where Indian summer is going on.
Definitely.
We are at Luxury Detail.
Yeah.
It's where you come to get your windows tinted, your car's all detailed, and all that good
Get
stuff.
some 40-inch rims.
We're going to show you those in a minute. But first up, we are going to introduce you to the...
We're gonna talk about municipal ID. Some people out there can't get ID. Say illegal immigrants, and some old people don't have ID actually. Also, some transgendered people aren't able to get the ID they want. So there's something called municipal ID for those kind of people. So we're gonna talk about it, so check it out.
One of the tools of oppression can be not giving someone an ID, because I think the metaphor is if you don't have an ID, if you don't have the all-important papers, then you have no identity. And why not keep certain segments of our population who we'd rather not be here as invisible as possible, existing in a world of denial. There are elderly who do not have proper ID so that they can get the same kind of services. Transgender people also run up against ID issues. Homeless, when it comes to getting the services that we tout, whether it be Connect or what have you, if they don't have some proof of who they are, then they get denied these services.
Particularly, this would be would benefit the immigrant community, especially the undocumented community that doesn't right now has no documents, to verify who they are, where they live. With this document, they'll at least feel they'll have a peace of mind, at least in terms of being able to go out into the streets. And now if they're harassed or questioned by police, they'll be able to say, this is who I am, this is where I live. Hopefully now with this, they'll be able to open up bank accounts.
As immigrants and sons and daughters of immigrants, we will continue to advocate at the grassroots, local, and national levels for such policies. Thank you.
We're very, very cognizant of the fact we don't want people targeted. We're not going to be asking people for any kind of address to give this card. It's really minimal as to how you can get this card. Every resident of San Francisco will be entitled to this card, so there'll be no one group that only has this card. This program has been very successful in New Haven, Connecticut. New York City is now looking at it, as well as LA. I think you'll probably see some of the larger cities trying to emulate this program. There's nothing more disrespectful than rendering people invisible that you would rather not see. And we are changing that in San Francisco in many different ways.
All right, YotV, we are here inside the Luxury Detail. We are hanging out with the homie, Mr. Starsky. This is his place, so go ahead and tell us a little bit more about it.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Starsky. I pretty much run the San Mateo shop out here. This is my business partner, Sacramento. We have 2 locations. Pretty much all we do is clean cars here, whether it's exotic or regular cars. If you want a Q-tip detail, you come on down here in San Mateo near Hillsdale.
Ooh, that's good before the club, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure the ladies like it.
Well, if you want it shined up, you got to come here.
And you guys have lots of nice cars here. We're about to show you real quick, YotV.
Yeah.
But we have to hit this commercial break, and we will be right back. But we'll have more footage for you up next.
So I'm looking at some of these cars and the craziest things that I've ever seen. Some of the rims look like heavy-duty dryers, You have to get in there. Anyway, next up we're gonna go to the Gen 6. We talked to some young people about it. The Jena 6 is 6 young men in Jena, Louisiana that were arrested for trumped up charges, and we went out to state and city to talk to some people about it, so check that out. Okay, so I'm out here talking to Kevin Washington, who's a teacher here at African Studies, correct? Okay, so today we're talking to people about the Jena 6. Do you have any feelings or opinions on the story?
The story, I grew up in Louisiana, just north of Jena, Louisiana. It is a story rich with a lot of the common myths and truths about racism in the South. And so we have a situation where 6 black males have been, of course, incarcerated. 5 have been released, but 1 is still in, Michael Bell, because of the high bail that it has to pay, $90,000. So it is an inequitable distribution of the law.
Do you have any opinions on the story?
Not really, except that I don't know much about what's going on, but from what I hear, it sounds pretty bad.
I guess I haven't been following the story that closely, but it seems like it's certainly getting a lot of attention, and it's bringing the issue of racism into the public sphere, which is always good.
As a minority, I think it's really messed up, because I will hate to see something like that happening to me or to somebody who is like any type of color, just because there's like some prejudice about it.
It's amazing that even now, no one is really involved. I mean, there's people involved in it, but like the governor of Louisiana is not involved. I mean, they're not trying to stop it. They're not trying to do anything about it. It's like continuously, just it's a continuous pattern right now of just, it's crazy. I'm not feeling it. It's pissing me off.
What do you think the kids should have gotten?
I don't really know the details of the story, but it appears as if the district attorney decided to press charges for an adult on a juvenile, which I don't agree with. I think there are laws for adults and laws for juveniles for a reason.
Maybe like expulsion or like suspended for quite an extended period of time.
Should this be a matter that the school handles, or should the judicial system come in?
If it happened inside the school, I think the school should be the first one into taking action towards it.
Well, just like the boys who hung the nooses, they should have been suspended from school. I mean, it's a schoolyard fight. They should have been suspended, just like a regular high school student. A different in another state, I guess.
There was a big rally a couple days ago in Jena. What do you think it would take for San Francisco youth to rally around a subject or topic like that?
Well, that rally was called together, of course, by many of the prominent figures, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Reverend Al Sharpton, amongst some other grassroots organizations that said that we must let our voices be heard. So I think when youth understand that all of their rights can be violated, it's not just as folks in the South, but their rights here can be violated, then they take a personal interest in the particular process and begin to speak out and say, this is not going to happen to him, Michael Bell, or the Jena 6, and it's not going to happen to me.
I mean, like the cause is just and everything. It's just like with my time and money, I would not afford. So I wouldn't be able to afford to go out there.
For me to go down to Alabama, Louisiana, or someplace like that, I don't think I'm going. I'm not going to Alabama. Not this time of year. I have classes. It's hot. There's bugs. I just don't see it. If there was a rally here, then I'm all over it.
I wish I could have went down there. Yeah.
What would take for you to drop everything and go to something like that? What would it take?
Money. That's it. If I had the money, I would have went. Honestly, I would have went.
The situation of Jena 6 is in a long line of situations throughout this country, from of course, enslavement, dealing with also black codes, 1865, dealing with also the Jim Crow laws, redlining, gentrification. And so we just see a constant barrage of mistreatment of one group by the larger society. And so people just responding to that. So we need to be cautious of that and cognizant of the fact that you can't mistreat anyone in society and everybody be okay with that. We have to begin to speak out for justice everywhere.
So going out and asking people about the Jena 6 thing out in state and in city, I found a lot of the young black people didn't want to talk about it on camera. A couple of them were okay with it off camera, but not particularly on. I found that pretty interesting. Next up, we're gonna go to commercial, but after that, we're gonna have a story about peace.
Yeah, Cape was. Alright, YotV, we are here inside playing a little bit because they have this cool little basketball machine. Donnie's about to break you off with some basketball skills. You missed. You don't know that though. Anyways, we are going to take you to the Agape Awards. Our homie, won the Peace Award, and we are very proud of them. So go ahead and check out more footage for you on YotV.
That was a Shaq impression, by the way. That's why I missed.
Tonight is our third annual Peace Prize Award event, where we are giving out 2 prizes. The first is the Rising Peacemaker Prize, and that tonight we will announce the winner, but right now we have 3 finalists. We have Pablo Paredes, who is a former Marine who refused to deploy to Iraq. He was court-martialed, served his time, and now is a leader in the counter-military recruitment world.
I was sitting around trying to figure out what to do after high school. Didn't have too many funds. My school's budget was being chopped. So military recruiters who had unfettered access to me talked me into the idea of militarism. And so I signed up, ended up finding out halfway into my tour that I was opposed to war, that I was a conscientious objector, and that what was happening in Iraq and Afghanistan was something I couldn't in good conscience be a part of. So I refused orders, I was court-martialed, I was kicked out of the military. It's a very empowering, believe it or not, to be court-martialed. You join the service and it's drilled into you over and over and over again that you're powerless, that you are to follow orders, obey orders, and that the consequences are dire if you don't. And the moment you actually bring yourself, to follow your conscience and will and stand up to that, you realize that the system is a lot less powerful than it seems to be. I was empowered to speak out and really they didn't know what to do with me. The day that I mounted my protest, that I came to the pier and said, I'm not getting on the ship, they couldn't even work themselves out to arrest me.
The second finalist is Beth Waitkus, who started an organic garden behind the walls at San Quentin Prison, where both races mix easily and comfortably and work together on ecological issues.
We basically run a gardening program at the prison that helps men reconnect to nature, so then they get to reconnect to themselves and their community and the natural environment. And then we hope that the tools that they learn in the prison with us, when they leave, they take those with them. And they can go out in the world in a lot better shape than they came in and be part of creating a more just, safe, and humane society. In a prison, gangs are sort of a normal part of life. Prison yards tend to be segregated by race, and the men do this themselves. It's just a very complicated social structure. What we have found with our garden, after we built it, we found that all of the men of all races in my class mix freely by race in our garden in front of all the other men on the prison yard, and they have absolutely no fear of retribution. So the garden is actually considered a sacred, safe space on the prison yard, and where all the men work together. They do teamwork, they work in groups, and we've never had a problem with them getting in trouble for that from the prison gangs.
And the third is Ronnie Crossman. And Ronnie started an organization called Next Generation, which is working to organize young people in Marin County and develop leadership skills around anti-war and environmental issues.
I started the organization 5 years ago, initially to help young people learn more about the then threatened war in Iraq and work for peace. After the war started, our young people said, well, let's get at the root causes of war, so let's work for sustainability. And now 5 years later, we have 4 staff and a few interns and a great office, and we're interacting with about 5,000 young people a year in Marin. Working with young people, I'm often the one doing the awards. We have an award ceremony every year where we honor 75 kids and 25 adults. So it feels good, and it's nice to be recognized for this work. And I also know that there are so many amazing people doing this work, and that there always have been and there probably always will be. So I feel part of a really amazing community of people.
Our second prize is the Enduring Visionary Prize that's going to HOMI, a group in the Mission District of San Francisco that's working on anti-gang violence.
So when the idea of HOMI came about years before I ever came to the organization, the idea was to actually empower young people through education and real alternatives to the street economies and the street lifestyle. One of the unique things about HOMI is that we don't place judgment on individuals for the lives that they live. If anything, we feel that speaks volumes that they're able to one, go through that experience, be challenged in life, and still be able to give back to their community. So we encourage, we support, we employ, we develop, we mentor young youth and young adults to be able to serve our community.
We want to thank you guys for putting our name into the spotlight in a positive way, because a lot of the work that we do most of the time goes unrecognized, except for when there's conflict. Right? A lot of the times our faces get in the news when there's a shooting in the mission. A lot of the times the media comes to us to ask us about a certain young person that was killed, or why this violence happened, or why this happened. A lot of times families come to our office needing us to screen print shirts for their son or their nephew or their brother who was killed in our neighborhood, and we donate our time and our energy to make sure that they can fundraise to bury their young people. A lot of the times people come looking to us, they come to us because they need a job, because they just got out of prison, or they need to get their tattoos removed, or because they are feeling hopeless, or because they need some kind of help. And this is one of the first times somebody has come to us and said, hey, we think you guys are doing something good and we want to appreciate you. So thank you for that.
Oh God, hold on. I found it. I found the one I want. Dear Santa, Annie B from YoTV would love our new YoTV mobile to be this one right here. Hook it up, okay? Anyways, as we sit here and daydream about all these beautiful fancy cars
and
that we could be
Brian
schmobbing in, and Brian McKnight, we are going to take you to a commercial break. Go ahead and check us out, youthoutlook.org, and send us your feedback. All right, now D is the man. If you couldn't tell already, he has a very nice car. Tell me a little bit about it.
We got the 07 Avalanche and the Victory Red. I got sitting on 26 Asante's 3-piece. For those that you don't know, you know what I'm saying? Just the real baller status rims right there. As you can see, you flip to the Beamer right here. And you can see the Asante's on that too. That's how we roll. Nothing but Asante's, nothing but the best over here at Luxury Detail.
That's what he's getting. He's getting all detailed real good. Ooh, putting them to work. But anyways, up next for you, we have some heavy metal grindcore type of footage for you, brought to you by Chronic Narcosis. Go ahead and check them out on the MySpace, and check them out right now on YoTV.
Hey, this is Johan from Chronic Narcosis. You're watching YoTV. I'm a guitar player for Chronic Narcosis. We're here chilling at the house. Yeah, we play the area thrash metal, which is different than East Coast hardcore or whatever cores. I really don't even know what core means, but we're thrash metal, you know, so we like to generally mess stuff up.
I just wrote some lyrics about the war and how we shouldn't be there and things like that. You know, I guess it just, when you're in that right frame of mind, and it just kind of hits you, and you just pick up a pen and start writing.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm the lead singer for Chronic Narcosis. I write the lyrics. Well, succubus is about succubuses. I guess that's a definition of like a demon lady come from hell to suck the life out of men. I don't know why I picked the fascination of writing about them, but I did. So that's one song. And then there's a song called Grip that I wrote, and that one's about a pretty messed up time in my life when I was all addicted to crystal meth. And I couldn't overcome the grip of it. I mean, eventually I did, but it took a long time and a lot of trouble.
Hate Street Fair. That was a really awesome show, really good sound system. There was a lot of people there, and we had a lot of fun. Yeah, it is. I mean, they've been doing that thing for like 30 years, and now we're a part of that history, so I think it's awesome. I hope we get to do it again.
I'm feeling a lot like the game on the cover of his CD, the documentary right now. I just like to say, hey, yo, y'all customize Huffies? I can get like some 26s. Nah.
Well, now you know where to get your car detailed, and these boys will hook you up with some sick little rims.
Indeed.
Go ahead and check out the Flex Street Detail out in San Mateo. And we are YoTV. We like to bring you
Yes, we
current
are.
events and footage that goes on in the Bay Area. Check us out on the web, youthoutlook.org. And we also got, what is it, that MySpace account.
Yeah,
Hit us up. We
Check us out on there.
all the time.
A lot of
videos.
good stuff. A lot of good stuff on there.
Send us your feedback. We're on MySpace, and also hit us up at YoTV at youthoutlook.org. And we'll be back 12:30 next Sunday, and we hope you stay awake. Bye.
Hi, good morning. How are you? I'm
Stop saying good morning.
Is it not the opening? Oh,
It's
okay.
no longer morning. We're on at 12:30.
Oh, yeah.
And pushing closer.
Is that the mic right there?
Yeah.
Hi.
Shut up.
Daring you to go push that guy over and see if he doesn't Dragon Ball Z you to death.
It's very dangerous in the sitting lotus position. Raising the roof now.